Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Bright Side Home Theater Podcast. The Home Theater Podcast, it's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the scenes.
Here we go. All right.
That's as awake as I'm going to sound, fellas.
Yeah, you and me both.
Getting it out of it, and just getting it out the way now.
Excuse me. I got a cough button here, but sometimes I can't get to it quick enough. So, whoo, we're back on the bus bench.
We are.
I don't know if we're all healthy back on the bus bench, but we're here.
I'm healthy. I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
Tired of not being healthy.
John?
I'm good.
Rub it in.
One out of three ain't bad. Actually, that is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yes, it has been.
Well, if we were a baseball team, we'd still be succeeding.
Well, baseball player.
Baseball
as
player,
a team.
yeah.
No, you know.
Yeah, I guess right.
300.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. As a hitter, let's narrow it down. Yeah, let's bring the category down.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because we were talking British sport off air, John, you haven't got to come in with the American stuff now. The video starts.
Well, I have to renew my American card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be it. That's a deportation right there when you start talking about watching, FA Cup games over Super Bowl.
I know.
That's it.
Priority, Steve. Priority.
I've dropped the dime to the Homeland Security. They'll be knocking on the door at any moment.
I'm going to start walking around with my passport now.
That ain't going to stop them.
There we go.
Oh man, but yes, no, it's been a long week, busy week, but still seen some very cool stuff. And can I say, still loving those glasses?
Oh,
cool.
Oh, I know. I actually came up with an idea for those this weekend. So nice segue, Steve. We worked on this in rehearsal. That was perfect. So this past weekend, Jen and I went to a dance competition. And so
I think I know who that is.
Yeah, you know who this is. So I'll put it add to stage, it says on StreamYard. So there we go. So top overall winner. She took first place. Actually did have competition too. It was out of like 7. So good for her. That's Sophia. So that's Sophia. Jen and I went, and Larissa's daughter.
I thought it was Jen for a second.
Yeah.
Just from the thumbnail.
Yeah, exactly.
You thought it was life size, did you, John?
I did.
Yeah. Oh God.
Neither of us is going to be welcome in Massachusetts.
Yeah. So she actually took first place, top overall in her category and everything. She did awesome. We'd been the week before as well, and she did well there, but she improved on everything, and then she did really, really good this week. And not gonna lie, got a little misty-eyed watching her accept her award. But it was funny too. The other thing is she said the first few categories, or first few people go up and they interview the winner. And the girls are like, so who do you want to thank? And they talk, and they're like, I'd like to thank my dance teacher. And it's always, and then Larissa leans over to us and goes, they never thank the mom. Yeah. And then Sophia gets up there, I'd like to thank my dance teacher and my mom. And then every girl after that, my mom.
Sophia's mom. Sophia's mom.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to thank Sophia's mom. Oh, God. So, yeah, it was great. So, but we're there for like 5 hours, right? We drive all the way out to Springfield. We watch her dance that one dance, and then you're sitting there with her. What did she get? Yes. Corinda. But yeah, Corinda says, what, DJ get misty-eyed? Yeah, I got misty-eyed on the drive there. What are you talking about? But yeah, so anyways, we're there for like 5 hours, and she does like a 3-minute dance, and then you're waiting for the awards at the end so you can drive home, right? So afterwards, I'm like, Steve's got these glasses. I was like, I I got to get these glasses because you could sit there the whole time because they got the little Bose things in, like you said, and just be like, everybody just be like, why is he wearing glasses? I've been watching a movie the whole time.
Just take the husky with you. They'll think it's your guide dog. No one will say a word. You'll be there all night. It'll just be absolutely fine.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that'd be funny. But I thought that was a perfect opportunity for those. And I'm not even kidding. I was like, I mean, I could probably like mark them up by like $25 and start selling them on site, and people would be like scooping them up at $525.
Once an hour's gone by, I'll be like, we'll sell you.
Yeah, exactly. Can I borrow those? Can I borrow those? Can I borrow those?
Well, I said that it's that X-Reel is quite a small company. To give you an idea as to how small they are, their head of marketing now follows me on Twitter.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. X-Reel like the post I put up, and then their head of marketing was like, "Oh, I'm really glad you like them, Steve," and is now following me. So that's how small a company they are.
Yeah. So if they're listening, hit up the dance companies. There'd be a great Father's Day gift for all dads that have dancers in their lives. It'd be like, yay!
Or swim meets or track meets or anything that requires a lot of sitting around. Jordan says. Jordan says, Steve, with those glasses, have you watched Men in Black with them? Yeah, but Jordan, if I had, I wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
So maybe I did. I don't know. Depends on what they did. But they are very, very cool. They really are good, and they work well. And even the spatial audio is actually surprisingly good.
Really?
I'm watching them with movies, with rugby at the weekend, and you can hear people shouting, off at the back and further away, and it really is fairly clever, to say the least. So they are good. They are good. Not cheap, but they are very, very cool. And I changed my phone just so I could start using the phone with them as well, because I had an iPhone 14, so that only had Lightning. So I've just got the 16 Pro Max, which has got the USB-C connection. So now it's it's even better. You don't have to have the iPad anymore. It's just got the phone in your back pocket, and away you go.
Yeah,
very, very good.
So can you use a Lightning adapter?
I'm not sure, because I don't think the 14 has video out over Lightning. So I don't think so. It might do. I must admit, I didn't try it. I didn't really want the adapter. I wanted it to be all singing and all dancing. And it didn't take long to convince myself to upgrade my 2.5-year-old phone or whatever it is. It's really, really good. They're cool.
I did think of another use for them too.
Is this a legal use, Deej?
Oh yeah.
Is your lawyer?
No, I think all three of us should get them. We could do the show with them. Like I have a MacBook, I could plug the USB-C right in. Instead of these screens, I could put everything there.
Yeah.
And and it's just, I have the microphone. I'd look like, Ray Charles.
Yeah, I can do it from when I'm walking my neighborhood.
You literally can.
It'd still be a camera on me. Yeah. You'd have to have the camera on me, but you would have, like, I just plug into one of the USB-Cs on my MacBook here and have the glasses, and I'm ready to go. And it's now all my screens would be in front of me, very similar to like that Apple, behemoth
Vision Pro
that they want to put on your head.
Anytime X-Reel wants a sponsor, or the show wants to invest in technology, you let me know.
We're here for
and I'll have a pair.
Exactly. What I don't think I mentioned, Deej, is it has an ultra wide mode. If you plug it into your laptop, which I did.
Yeah, but I'm kind of skinny, Steve. Maybe you need ultra wide mode.
Well,
easy. I've been watching my weight. I work out.
Well, that's it.
Like,
but it has a 240.
What you do on a plane is up to you.
Yeah, well, indeed. Oh, yeah. It's got a 247-inch wide screen, so you can have older things. And what they've been going on about on YouTube is video editing, and how much fun that is, because you can have like 5 monitors up at any point, just move between them, and they're like it's Minority Report, all over the place. So they are cool. Yeah.
So, I got to get it. It does sound like John said. It does sound like we're like just trying to. Like read somebody said, I'm like,
I've already bought mine.
That isn't what we do. But it is. They do seem really cool. And the other part is like I said last week, it's insane. Like we're already there. You know, like this, I mean, what's it going to be like in another year, 2 years, 5 years, how good these are going to be. And for that to actually already be there, I think is, you know, when Apple came out with their contraption, now we have this that just seems so much more streamlined. Probably not as capable. I would, you know, no doubt, because it's not part of the same ecosystem, but it's closer to what I think people really want instead of that big, you know, that thing was a joke. I still think it's kind
concept, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great idea, but the thing you have here, and then it's like it puts your face on the outside, so it looks like you're looking out, but you're really not. And it's like, okay, who cares about that? So you're trying to make me personable with this thing on my face?
Yeah, right.
Like, I want to be personable. I'll take it off.
Well, but also, you really, with these, the secret sauce here, isn't it, is to look inconspicuous, not conspicuous, especially not with a $3,500 flipping bin, you know, trash can on your head, you know, where people are going to you're just advertising, by the way, look at this very expensive technology I've got on my face.
Right.
Whereas these, a quick glance, people just think you've got sunglasses on. I mean, we joke about Ray Charles and, you know, the Blues Brothers, as Jordan says in there.
Yeah.
But a quick look, no one's going to know. They're just going to think, oh, sunglasses, fine.
Yeah.
And they're not even going to give you a second glance. And that's really, I think, where the key is on these. Because you don't want to look an idiot. I mean, I think when you've got those Apple Vision Pro on your head, unless you're on the ski slopes, you look a bit of a tool with these kind of big goggles on, one. And two, again, you're advertising this very expensive tech that's attached to your face because it's so big and obvious. Whereas, as I say, these are, I like how inconspicuous they are. I don't feel, I mean, I must admit, I'll be honest, I haven't walked along the road with them wearing them yet, but I have worn them in public and no one gives you a second glance. They wait till they're around the corner before they point and laugh. So that's fine.
But it had nothing to do with the glasses.
I can't see them.
Quite. Yeah, I forgot to put my trousers on that morning. I can only apologize. Because I had the glasses on. I couldn't see. So we're going to make Deej choke. He's gone. Oh, man. No, at least it's not me going red.
Oh, God. No, I just... You get that tickle and you can't stop.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so as I said, and again, it's not an advert for them really, even though it is. They are fun and certainly, you know, recommended for the kind of things we do. The idea of, I want to take my home theater with me in some form. It's not as good as 4K. It's not as good as my screen or yours. But the idea that you can take a version of your theater with you, literally in your pocket, which you can't do with the Vision Pro. Is, you know, the case is literally go in your pocket, no problem. Put it in your front pocket, you'll be very popular with the ladies. But you can literally carry it in your pocket, no problem at all, and you've got it wherever you want to use it. It's great. So
that's like that old joke. You know, you want to impress the ladies, put a potato in your bathing suit. And guys walking around, it's like, nobody's impressed. Yeah, you're supposed to put it in the front.
In the front.
PF Productions is saying, I have an Apple Vision Pro and it's simply amazing. I watch movies on the beach on Bora Bora or watch 3D of gravity while on the moon. It's amazing tech. Yeah, it is. No, and there's no doubt about it. And it is amazing tech. It's just, it needs to be like streamlined. It needs to be brought down. Like there has to be a compromise between like the glasses Steve has and the Vision Pro. Like the Vision Pro, it's like, yeah, you can do a lot with it, but look what you have on your face, you know? And it's, I mean, even like you said, like watching a movie on the beach on board, you can actually be on the beach and wear Steve's those glasses and watch a movie, and it'd be just like, okay. You take your kids to the beach, and just like they did in the video, poor grandma or driving off into a tree or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're paying attention. Kids drowning in the water, but hey, I got Maverick going.
Yeah, attacked with a shark, and I was watching Jaws.
I was watching Jaws. Good. I heard a lot of screaming. I thought it was surround sound. Whatever. It's like so. Yeah. There has to be a compromise there, but yeah, I'm kind of interested in grabbing those. Just like you said, it's like for this part, for the dance competitions, there's so many great uses for them.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. You can get, and again, I'm still maintaining with your biking as well. You put your camera on, you put the little camera on your phone. You can even probably, put it on one of those arm things, put it around the back, cameras on, you've got your glasses on, you can see behind you as well as you're driving. Oh, and the other bizarre thing about them is they are actually sunglasses as well. So they do actually have UV protection. Oh, so they do the two things, which is kind of cool as well. But there we go. Anyway. But there it is. What I did watch earlier, though, fellas, have come back to home theatre properly for a minute, is I watched the trailer to The Gorge, not The George. That's entirely different. The Gorge, which is coming out on Friday, the new Scott Derrickson movie. It does. Well, I put the trailer on literally while I was waiting to start. I put the trailer on with the glasses. So again, 147-inch screen, and it's a 185 trailer, and it felt like I was falling into this gorge. The 3D on it. It's like, whoa, okay, right, this is actually really good. I can't wait for that on Friday. That's more important to me than Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, Valentine's Day.
Great. It really does look good. I'm looking forward to that. So fingers crossed. That's one definitely we'll be talking about next week.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So PF Productions has got a way around this. So it says 100% agree with you, DJ. Couldn't resist buying one for work. Great write-off.
Yeah.
Could edit video in my profession in a hotel room on a wraparound screen now. There you go.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what it's for. And like Ara and I said when it first came out, we did a show on it. I don't know if it was here or his show. But we were saying, like, I love the idea that, and Ara and I really, like, he's a hockey fan out on the West Coast. I'm a hockey fan here. And I love the idea that someday, and I think it will happen, that we'll be able to, like, be in our homes, put on something like that, and be able to take in a game together, and like you're sitting at the game, and there'll be either a one-time price per game, or you could get a season pass, like season ticket holder to a Bruins game, and it would be, you get every game like you're sitting and you get to pick your seat, and they'll have different seats around the stadium, and you can choose. It'd be so easy to just set up a 360 camera somewhere, which they already do this stuff. And you just sit there and be like, wow, I'm in the stands. And I mean, there's a huge moneymaker there. Huge for sports and stuff.
Do they not already have that over there? Because they were trialing it here for a while. You could have it on your phone and literally it's live football, proper football, age odd, and football games. And there were 360 cameras, and you could choose where you wanted to sit in the stadium, including, by the way, right next to the commentator or the announcer, as you would call them.
Yeah.
And you can sit and watch it from there, and you could then spin around in 360. You could turn your camera like that, and you were looking around the ground in full 360 live.
Oh yeah.
And so you could just, and that was years ago. So this sort of stuff, I mean, it's definitely capable and possible now. But yeah, it would be great. I mean, it's clearly where it's going. Or even then, if they're like, look, we need to keep people coming because that's where we make our money, then what you do is you take your glasses, and during this, you get live AR feeds of stats and everything else that's going on, action replays and everything else, which are beamed straight to your glasses. So you've got the best of both worlds. You've got the vantage point of being at home with all the replays and everything else, but you've also got the live atmosphere as well. So I mean, anyone sensible that's got these stadiums and these sports teams must be looking into this. Got to be. And I think it was cool.
It would be something for like Apple to get into, because it would have to be one would promote the other, right? Like, okay, the NHL is going to do this. The NFL seems ripe for this, people, but it would have to, like, could that hurt ticket sales? People just do this instead of going to but even at that, it's like more people, I would be willing to bet they would care less about ticket sales if this could get more people buying stuff.
Well, that's the thing, because they're going to lose concessions, which is where they make all their money. But they're not limited by stadium capacity anymore.
Exactly.
Right? 65,000 seats, but you could sell 100,000 virtual tickets, and you'll make up for the concession loss by selling more.
Right.
By selling twice the amount of tickets.
If not more.
If not more,
think about it. If
or think about a big concert or something. You could sell 5 times the capacity of.
Well, Greg did that over the summer. Him and Meg were like, they couldn't make it to a show at Fenway, and they live streamed it, and he put it out on his home theater, and he's like, "This is better than being there." And you're like, no traffic, and we've all done stuff like that, but it's like this here could actually be like, maybe it would be like a compromise like the old days here. It's like we couldn't watch Patriots games because they weren't sold out in your region.
Right.
Maybe if the building doesn't sell out enough, you don't get this, right? It won't go out. So you still have, but at the same time, people would be like, okay, so then it doesn't happen. And it'd be like, people aren't going to go to the game just so that I can watch it at home on my Vision Pro or whatever, right? It's, I think it could be a new way to.
And it's just like everything else. Like people are not quick to adapt to technology. So you could have 100,000 people buying virtual tickets, but still have 60,000 people that are old or old school and don't want to mess with the technology, and they're still going to go to the game. So like, I don't think it would hurt in-person attendance one bit, for any event, because there's always going to be people that won't embrace technology and will want to do things.
Oh yeah.
Old school.
Oh, yeah. The lengths that you'll go to, John, just to get on stage with Taylor Swift.
I tell you.
Oh yeah.
Where's the camera going?
Don't,
John's looking for the dressing room camera.
Yeah.
Look at Steve. He's turning red again.
Yeah. Brilliant. That's awesome. I'm thinking a smile too. That's not where you want to be on stage.
Oh boy, there we go. So
Rach says, just because Rach says, are the glasses compatible with Android or just iPhone? Anything with a USB-C connection, Rach, anything that's got that, it works with. So if your microwave's got it, you'll be able to look inside and see 147-inch chicken,
rotisserie chicken.
Look at the size of that thing.
Look at that.
Who bought an emu?
I wasn't that hungry.
Oh, John, you don't have to eat it all.
Yeah, right.
Have leftovers.
I got dinner for a week.
Yeah.
Or an afternoon at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I better say hi to people in the chat, guys, because we got some new people in, I think, or at least some people.
We do. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
let's go.
Say hi. Yep. So as per usual these days, TSG's first in. Again, local boy, as I have dubbed him. So hi to TSG. Mikey's in. We're keeping it relatively clean, Mikey. You should be pleased. Hope you're enjoying your dinner. We've got Steve Att is in the chat. Captain AC3 Captain AC3's in. And Van Gool's in. Hi, Van Gool. Scruffy's in. Saying, he said, hey, DJ, good chat with John. Listened this morning while munching on a bacon and egg sandwich. Very nice, right? Making me feel hungry. Thanks, Scruffy.
Nice. Yeah.
Rach is in. We said hi to Rach. Paul Hurt's in. Hi, Paul. And we've got Kevin, said he just popped in, popped out. Dom's in. Bonsoir, Dom, as always. Jordan's in. Hi, Jordan. And who are the new guys? PF Productions, we know, is in. Big C Big is in. Again, not Big C. Got to not say that.
C Big.
C Big. And Gorinda's in. We've said hi to Gorinda already. And again, Ariel Alanis is in. Hi, Ariel. He's saying good evening. Bill's in. Hi, Bill McAllister. Hey, buddy. And then, Carl's in. Hey, Carl. And Davis1138. Got to be a THX reference, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Hey, Davis. New, I think. Not seen that one before. But
Davis?
Yeah, 1138.
I think they've been in. They've been in before. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi to you guys.
Oh, it says finally I get to catch a live show, so maybe they're new. I thought I recognized that before. But.
Yeah. Well, it's the 1138.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Theodorus is in as well. Hello, Theodorus. How are you, bud? So the gang is all here. So
Theo. That's Theo from Down Under.
Good day.
I believe that's Theo down in Australia as well.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm going to feel really stupid if it turns out he's not, mate.
Yeah.
John, just for our friends from Down Under, can you give it a crikey, please?
Crikey.
Oh, awesome.
There we go. This was on the news here yesterday. All right. All our talk.
John's Australian impression was on the news.
No.
Yeah.
This here, this was a little segue. A bad segue, I should say.
Sorry, Davis.
Oh, there you go. There you
That's
go.
why it's familiar to each.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see. Yeah, so this here in Connecticut, Senator Martin
Oh,
Looney
yes.
I
of
saw
New
this.
Haven.
Yeah.
Did you? Isn't this cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proposed calls for listing 2 start times. Number 1, start time with ads and for ads and trailers, and then number 2, the actual start time of the film.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm glad we've solved all the other world.
Yeah. Do we need a
world
law
problems,
about that?
You know,
Yeah.
but still, it's cool.
It is cool that it's like, well, at the same time, it's like we make rules and laws about other things, and it's like it's kind of I was thinking the same thing, Steve. Do we need a law about that? But isn't that kind of like we do have bait and switch laws, right? And they are kind of like screwing with us by saying the movie's going to start at 7, and then you get there and it doesn't start until 7:30. You know, and and what was funny is even the newscasters afterwards were debating this, and they're like, yeah, but you know, they do need the money they need the revenue for the ads, and they want to be able to do it. And if nobody's there, you're not going to get as much money, but nobody is there. And then one newscaster was like, I get there with my daughter for a 90-minute film, and it's like, kids have a short attention span, and by the time the trailers are over, the kid's out of it. And you're like, I got to get going. Or, you know what I mean? They've lost interest. And then the other newscaster was like, yeah, but I got lost on my way to the theater, and it actually helped me because...
I was going to say, don't we just self-police it anyway, though? Like, I just show up 20 minutes after the start time.
Well,
anyways. And
you can, but some movies don't have as many trailers. So you don't know.
Yeah,
and this is why I think this would be like, why can't they say, all right, we're going to start trailers at 7, and the movie will start at 7:25. And if you want to be there on time, you know, good on you.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm aware of the irony of a lawyer who is trying to say we need fewer laws, but still, I'm just wondering. I mean, the reason that we don't need another law for this, because I mean, sure, if they bring it in the US, it'll come over here, you know, as usual. The US catches a cold, Deej, and we get it over here, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what would you do? So let's say a cinema then doesn't advertise the time of the start of the movie. What's going to happen? What, the police are going to roll up and kick the door down and arrest everyone? I mean, are you going to sue them? Why? You know, it's all, I don't know. It's a bit nanny state for me. It's a little bit, it's not necessary. I mean, it's a nice thing. Perhaps we could encourage cinemas to do it.
Exactly.
But to make it a legally binding thing seems a bit OTT. You know, I mean, I see the surname of the senator, and I wonder whether it's a little bit perhaps more apt than we realized.
But sometimes, like Steve, you and I have talked about this about other things, and sometimes laws just they bring awareness to something, right? It's not so much about you doing this, or even just talking about this. Like people are upset about it, upset enough to the point that it's actually being considered a law. Right. Yeah. So whether it becomes a law or not, is it good that they're talking about it? Does it slap the cinemas upside the head? Like, what are you doing? You know, like we've said on the show here, it's like by the time the movie starts, people are pissed. Yeah. And now you're going into a movie on a negative, and now you're expecting the movie, you know, the ratings of the movies are going down. You know, like, oh, that movie stunk. Yeah, because you came in pissed, you know, and it's like, it just, to me, it just, like when we were younger, you went to the movies. I said this last night. I'm like, you got to the movies early because we didn't have reserved seating. Yeah. We were a captive audience. If you wanted a good seat, you had to get there a half hour to an hour early. Right. And then they started playing the trailers. Now with reserved seating, people are like, well, I'll just get there. And now you're like, but can't they still start on time? So that, you know, it's like, I get it. I get it. It's like, you're going to get there at 7:00. Okay, just tell us when the actual movie is going to start. It's like, I don't mind getting there early. Like Carl's like, I always get there early for the trailers. Okay, I always get there early too, just because I want to sit down and relax. But sometimes it's like, you know, you got to get in, got to get out or something. It's not so much that the movie doesn't start on time. A lot of people are upset because it means the movie is going to end at a different time now. And they have places to be, and that is an unknown now with the way things are right now. You know, you got a babysitter or you got someplace to go, you got to get to work. It's like, it's such a sketchy thing. Like, when's the movie going to end?
But it's still, but it's not even an unknown though at this point. Because unless you've never been to a movie, you know what's going to happen, so you can still build it into the end time. You know, you just hire your babysitter for 30 more minutes because you know it's going to be 30 minutes of trail. Like, you know what I mean? It's still known. People know
It's
what's
not,
going to happen.
but see, that's the thing is I've gone to some like opening day stuff, like the opening night stuff, right? And Meg was like, okay, the movie would start at 3:00. She has to be to work for 7.
Right.
And it was like, okay, it's a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. I think I can make it. Well, yeah. And the one that we went to, it was literally a half hour of trailers and she had to leave early.
Right.
But we didn't know that because sometimes it's 15 minutes. Sometimes I've been to opening day and it's only like 2 and you're like ready to rock because it's an early thing. It's so
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to a
sporadic.
movie in 5 years that hasn't been at least 30 minutes. Honestly.
Yeah, I think 20 minutes is a minimum. I think you're doing quite well if it starts in 20. Yeah. I mean, so 30, yeah, I mean, 20, 30. I mean, again, I can't help but think it's a bit nanny state. You know, these days, how hard is it to type in what is the length of this movie into your phone and it come up so you know the length of the film, add half an hour, done. I don't need, you know, a law to tell me that when this film starts, because again, if I'm not going to enforce the law, what's the point of having the law? You know, I don't know. Maybe our senator from New Haven didn't have a lot on this week and needed a bit of attention. I don't know. Far be it from me. Just because we are talking about it, in fairness.
Exactly. And that's the point. That's why I like it. Whether it becomes a law or not, or should become a law, it's people are talking about it. Right.
Yeah. Well,
and the other part is that everybody talks about is that, cinemas are dying. Nobody wants to go. Well, if they're dying, then why are people care enough to even talk about this stuff, to even want to make a law for it? You know what I mean? People are actually getting upset because they care, right? You don't get mad about something you don't care about. If you don't want better start times, or you don't want better knowledge of start times, you just go, I don't give a crap. Who cares about when the start times are, right? You just ignore it and you walk on. You keep going. Yeah. People are actually caring about it. Whether it becomes a law or not is moot, really. It's just that people are talking about it, and hopefully cinemas, what would be cool is some cinemas see this, or one big chain goes, we're going to start doing that. Bang. And then everybody's, I'm going to go to that one. You see what I mean? And then all of a sudden be like, I like that. See what they're doing there? That's nice of them. You know,
or their advertisers say, fine, if you're going to deliberately undercut our the people watching our adverts, we're not going to be placing adverts with you anymore, and that theater starts to cease to exist. So it's kind of, it's part of the business model, isn't it? It's all kind of built in. I hate the adverts, as I've said before. I hate the trailers. We've seen them all on our glasses. You know, we don't need to see them now in the theaters. You know, I am the person who's normally pissed by the time it starts. That's American pissed, not English pissed. If I'm drunk before it starts, that's a very different thing. It means something different here, Deej. I said it for you because John will know.
See, I think the trailers, if you will. When was the last time you saw a trailer at the movie theater that you'd never seen before you got to that theater?
Decades.
Exactly. So really, what's the point? It's kind of a waste of money on their part too, as advertisement. They're wasting money to piss us off, and it's like that to me would be like, just take them out, and then. And I've said this before on the show. I'm like, you want to make it neat, you want to make it unique again. Take all the trailers out and then throw one in that you've never seen anywhere else. It's never appeared anywhere, and that would get people, oh my God, did you see that new Star Wars trailer? I didn't even know its new Star Wars movie was coming out. And it was at the front of Mission Impossible or something. You were like, holy crap. People will be like, wait, what? It's not online? Nope. You can only see it in theaters. You do the reverse. It's easy marketing. You don't need laws. What you need is common sense.
That's a short supply.
Exactly.
Well, in fact, I can remember the last time that happened in 1999. Late 98, with a film called The Siege with Bruce Willis and Denzel Washington, because at the front of that movie was the trailer to The Phantom Menace. And I was working in the cinemas at the time at Warner's up the road from here, and we did, I kid you not, have people come in, pay for the screen, watch the trailer, and then leave before the movie started, because they were literally paying to see the Phantom Menace trailer.
Yeah.
And that was the last time that happened, I think.
It's, I mean, right now it's really hard right now for anything like that because the market's so askew because we have so many places to get content and it's hard to organize all that and everybody's vying for every eyeball and every dollar, so it's just but hey, people are talking about it. Cinema ain't dying. Home theater isn't dying, as John and I talked about today. Speaking of that, before we get to our movies, as we're almost hitting 6 o'clock here, that the Nerdy Legion is, I'll check right now, the Nerdy Legion is still down. So Apple iTunes, I know Martin and I had set up a fail-safe so that the show does go out through the website to Apple, but I don't believe it goes to anywhere else. Like, it doesn't go to Spotify or anything. I'm not sure. But if you haven't heard today's Takeover Tuesday, you can go to the website, brightsidehometheater.com, and it's the latest episode right there with John Thompson and I talk. What do we talk about, Steve?
Well,
everything.
John talks, Deej.
Yeah,
you just
John.
go, hi, John.
Hi, John.
Bye, John.
I'll be back.
And the 2.5 hours in between, John just does his thing.
Yeah.
In the best way. I mean, I mean that affectionately. He's
Oh
great
my God.
the way he does it.
Yeah. It's, and like I said to you before the show, it's like, it's our text exchange before. It was like, I'm like, I'm not feeling well. He's getting in at 11:30. We started that at 11:30 his time. We didn't finish talking until like 2:30 his time. I think we recorded like 2.5 of it. And the two of us, our text exchanges leading up to it, were like, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling well. It's late night for him. And he goes, so we'll only go 5-7 hours this time because that's what we do. And it's, yeah. So, it's what I saw, such a great conversation. I'm so like upset it's not out widely right now.
Yeah, it's definitely,
Martin's working on Nerdy Legion, but there's some kind of a hiccup with the server over there. So
yeah, it's on Apple. It's on the podcast thing on Apple for sure, because that's where I get mine from, and I've heard it today, so it's definitely up on that. So anyone can get hold of it if they need to. But yeah, it's unfortunate if it's not up on that. Just one quick thing, actually, that TSG mentioned. I just want to talk, because this is interesting. So he talks about here, the other issue is people coming in then late. So other people is they dim the lights, and then you see flashlights to help them get to the seats as well. There's me saying TSG is a local boy. Flashlights, TSG, come on, torches, please. Anyway, so flashlights, goodness gracious me. At least he didn't say flashlights. That's a very different experience.
That's a different movie.
At the cinema. It's a totally different cinematic experience. The sights, the sounds, don't look. Anyway, that's not what I meant.
DJ's now dying.
We are
playing the role of Steve this week is DJ.
Oh God, my throat.
I get the impression by the end of this show it's gonna be just in memoriam.
Right.
It's just gonna be shots of Deej.
I need a cup. Oh my God, I'm coughing like crazy when you do stuff like that. My throat just goes nuts.
So he says about dimming the lights. Now, you remember I said I saw Wolfman the other day in a really nice cinema, beautiful cinema.
Vaguely.
They did not put the light. Well, it's fine. Yeah, it's a forgettable film, so you can forget I saw it. In that one, they didn't dim the lights enough, and in that one, whilst it was a beautiful cinema, the stair lighting was really bright. To the point was it was like the worst kind of bias lighting because it's in front of the screen, not behind it. And it really did hurt the picture quality, and it was irritating as hell. I ended up watching most of the movie like this, trying to sort of cover my eyes so I couldn't see this blooming light going down the stairs. So I think that's worse. I'd rather have no light and people with flash or flashlights than have sunlight. Yeah, I mean, how you enjoy the films matter for you. But whereas having too much light is really irritating. And so anyway, I don't know how they do it over there, but when they do it here, it drives me crazy. It's just it's not good. Anyway, another advert for home cinema where you can control your lighting.
Exactly. Yeah, anytime somebody opens like an iPhone out of the corner of your eye, you see that, or the exit signs glowing on the screen.
Yeah,
it's like there's gotta be some kind of an awareness that put up a blocker so that doesn't glow to the screen. That it doesn't.
It'll all burn if there's a fire, but at least the picture's good.
No. All you gotta do, you could put up like a blinder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so it doesn't. The light doesn't actually go to the screen. It just stops it, but you can still see it. you know? Yeah. All right.
Well, stop moaning now.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, hey, hashtag bright side. We still have cinemas. Not by the end of this show.
And it was stupid because
we'll all be sitting around watching movies on our glasses.
Hey,
cool. All right. What's the name of those glasses again, Steve?
Oh, I can't remember. X-Real ones, if they're listening.
What are they? I forgot.
X-Real ones.
X-Real ones. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Well, they want to send us some X-Real 1 Pros when they come out in March. We won't complain.
Nope.
Nope. Not at all. That would be great with the kit. And then people could see what I was looking at.
Not knowing your picture roll, Deej. We don't need you forgetting and going to the toilet.
Shut up, Steve. All right, let's get this.
I live in hope that one of these days you're going to click the wrong picture in your picture roll there.
Oh,
you're going to show us what you showed John and I a few weeks back.
Nope. That was that was privileged information.
Hey, I didn't say what it was.
Exactly. All right. Who wants to kick things off? I think.
Yeah, go for it. I'm one. You go for it, guys. Yeah.
You have a ton.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Let's see.
If we are starting, can we get one again? In my requirement of being very particular, if not OCD, can we deal with the first one there that's been there ages, beginning with A?
Oh, okay.
That begins with CDs, that one.
This one?
Yeah, because it's been there ages. And it's just come out here, and I want to show off that I've had it for ages.
There you go.
Okay. Alrighty. So
it has been there for ages. What, 2 weeks?
Yeah. Oh no, since the end of January. So yeah, just
2 weeks.
Longer. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
We're in the second week of February, so yeah, 2 weeks.
I don't know. It feels like about June to me. It's been a long year so far. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
This week's been a long year. All right. So Ahsoka then. This is the obviously Disney Plus series, finally now on 4K Blu-ray. And it's been out in America for ages, and it's the American version that I've got. Hence why I've had it for a number of weeks, when I think it only came out here like yesterday, I think it was. And so, yeah, now this is the series that I still think is my favorite of the Star Wars series, very closely followed by Obi-Wan. For me, Andor is not my favorite. I know it's everybody else's. So I was really looking forward to seeing this again, and I'm very happy to report it is every bit as fun second time round, if not more so, because what struck me with this second time round is how easy it is to watch. It's just such an easy show. You haven't got to kind of really pay attention. Haven't got to worry too much about who's doing where and what. It's just very easy to kind of let wash over you. So yeah, it's really good second time round. Everyone knows it's good. I don't think many people complained about it. Really cool. And as you'll see from that picture, like most of the Disney, certainly the Star Wars discs, you get these really cool hand-drawn sort of, I don't know what you call them, animatics, whatever they might be. And that's one of them. And there's loads of them on the disc, and they just cycle through them, and they're really, really nice. So definitely recommend it. So show was great. It looks absolutely fantastic as well. I maintained at the time that they had used something different with this show, that this was the next generation of the volume, or whatever they're now calling it. And it's so crisp and clear, so colorful, so detailed. You will find yourself marveling at Ahsoka's knitwear when she's got her very carefully made little kind of shawl that she wears, that you can see every single stitch and weave and knit on that shawl, which is very, very cool. It looks amazing, and it sounds very, very good as well. I'd missed, I think, in the Disney Plus version, or it might be that it's just now the Atmos track that is bringing it out more, just how much active sort of swooshing and moving in the speakers you get with this. Every time the starships go around, they go around the entire room. You know, they go rear left to front right, whereas they go over the top of the room and everywhere in between. There's loads of it. And I'd missed it first time round. There are entire sequences in this that I just didn't get that feeling of envelopment that you get with the discs. So it's a great series, looks great, sounds great. This does not have the Atmos issue that I mentioned with Hawkeye last week. This is a full-throated, proper mix. I thought it was great. and I really do recommend picking this up. You know, if you like me and you like the show, I know it's on Disney Plus, but with season 2 coming, whenever it is it next year or later this year? It's a good opportunity to, you know, catch up with this. It's a really good set. So yeah, very, very recommended. And one I'll watch again and again. I thought it was great. So there we go.
Yeah. So you really did. The sound was that much better.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's noticeably more enveloping. Normally, don't we say, you know, the bass is better, you know, is more kind of tight and controlled. You get that, but you also get much more envelopment with the movement of the ships, and that's what stood out to me this time. You get all the lightsaber movement and everything else which we had before, but yeah, with this, when you have the space battles, and when you get these big giant ships moving around, you feel it more. Oh, and the whales as well. The noise from the whales is much more enveloping when they're inside the mouth of one. I mean, spoiler alert. You can hear the calling of the whales in the speakers all around you. So it's not, you know, it's not something that you know, it's not perhaps quite, you know, demo worthy. You're not going to pull this out when you've got all your other stuff, but it's very, very good and fits the series perfectly. I had a really good time watching this. I blasted through this in a couple of days. Very, very easy to do. And I still think zombie stormtroopers are cool. Although I don't think you guys were as keen on them. I think they're cool. And in fact, I quite like one of those zombie stormtrooper helmets. I'm surprised they haven't done a Black Series version of that, because I would definitely pick that up. That would be cool. But you know, I can but hope.
A new hope, Steve.
If you decide, very nice. I like it smooth. X-Real, if you decide to get out of AR glasses and you want to go into memorabilia, could you make a zombie
stormtrooper helmet?
Yeah,
with X-Real built in. That would be even
you just
John. Man, that's it. We need you in the market.
You gotta do it in an Iron Man helmet.
Well, I hear that you have it in with that guy, so
yeah, dude, that's it. Sold.
You probably could.
New job.
Yeah, you probably could just put it into like either the Iron Man helmet or a Stormtrooper helmet, or you could do
it's a whole other market.
Yeah,
man, I never even thought of that. I love that idea, John. You sold me on that straight away.
Yeah.
That's it. God. Because I keep the receipt for those glasses. I need to return them in case they do one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit more obtrusive than the Apple Vision Pro, but
cooler looking.
But you look a lot cooler walking down the street.
Walking down the street looking like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or a stormtrooper. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Wow. That idea is very cool. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sold on that.
We're brutal. Oh very God, cool. That's so funny. All right, John, you got quite a few up here, buddy.
I have two.
Yeah, Paul, just Wild Horses couldn't maybe watch Ahsoka again.
Oh no!
Me and modern Star Wars have agreed we should part ways.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah! Oh, well,
yeah, he's an old school guy though.
Yeah, that's it. Other opinions are available, even if they are wrong. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean that. No, that we respect all opinions, all comers.
I mean, I've only got 2 movies, DJ. I don't know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I thought you had more than that.
It must all be Steve.
There is a ton for you. I swear I thought I saw more, but this is you though, right?
This is.
All right. You ready for this?
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so this is Bad Boys Ride or Die. Once again, late to the party and bringing back something that we've already talked about multiple times here on the show. So for anybody that has listened to me at all in the history of this show, you'll know that I am not a fan of Will Smith at all, and nor am I a fan of this franchise of movies. I really don't like them. I don't like Will Smith at all.
Goes back to our chat days.
But my wife does like these movies, and I had this available, so I thought it was something that her and I could watch together, and so we did. So as far as the movie goes, my opinion may vary, but it was okay. It was fine. It was Bad Boys and it was okay. I didn't really love it, but I didn't absolutely hate it. But the disc, I know now why it was in the top 5 for both of you guys last year. I mean, this had no business being as good as it was, I think. And if anything could redeem the experience of this movie for me, it was that. I thought the 4K Dolby Vision, I mean, I thought this looked fantastic. The audio track in Atmos was stunning. Like, it was really, really good. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. And I know you guys have already done all that, and I'm not saying anything new, but yeah, for anybody that may have been on the fence like me and is not the biggest fan of this franchise or these movies, this is a disc worth watching. Like, it is really, really good. Like, you know, I don't know what else to say about it other than it's, it's stellar, and definitely worth having.
I mean, we loved it, didn't we, DJ? And again, John, I mean, we couldn't put it better ourselves. It's exactly what we said about it. I mean, the colors on it are crazy. Get all the Miami stuff. I'm sure if you go to Miami, I mean, I've been to Florida, but I've never been to Miami. I'm assuming it looks nothing like this in real life. And I'm assuming this is pure movie land, isn't it? This is just kind of but boy, oh boy, does it look good. The neon and everything's neon lit, isn't it? You can't have you can't even go into a corner store and it just looked like a normal corner store. It's got to have neon,
right?
All around it, But it looks stunning. It is the archetypal Sony movie, isn't it? Looks good, sounds great, and it's almost like you could watch it and forget the film. It's because it's just a demo. It's almost like one of those demos you see in stores, where they're just running the kind of thing. You're like, well, I'll just watch it for that. People are talking, but who cares? Let's just watch how good it looks and how it sounds in terms of the action. Yeah, this is
and again, and Lydia, she really enjoyed it. Again, she's a fan of these movies and the franchise, and she had a great time with it. So, I guess it was a good installment. But like I said, it's not my cup of tea generally, but yes, I would watch it, and I'll watch it again just for the just for the disc and the presentation. So definitely worth watching if you're a home theater fan.
John, did you find with this, because you watched this on
I watched it on the Zedo,
Zedo, there we go. That's it. Yeah. Monkey See, Monkey Zedo. That's right. Got it. Okay, that's what I think of. I remember you thinking of it last week. So was it like Borderlands? Did it look better than other stuff you've seen?
Again, I think it did, but that I really think comes down to more of a settings thing than anything else, because like this should be a 1-to-1 copy of the disc. Like, it shouldn't be any different than what you see on your 4K disc or your Kaleidoscape. But so far, I've watched 3 movies. We'll talk about another one in a bit, through the Zedo, and at least 2 out of the 3 are better than almost anything I've ever watched disc-wise on my machine. So again, I don't know if it just comes down to it's some settings somewhere that it seems a little bit more vibrant than it does on the Blu-ray player. But yeah, to answer your question, I thought it looked like, again, it was one of the best things I've seen. So
yeah. I mean, you also though have chosen the 3 of the best looking,
right? And that could because again, not to give spoilers, but I'm not going to say the same thing about the next movie I talk about.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. you went and got.
But these are. But that's also a movie that's 32 years old versus these 2 movies that were done last year.
Yeah.
And using the best new technology. So I'm sure that has something to do with it as well. You
mean you went and got the Zedo version of Dog Soldiers, did you, John?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Why not?
Well, he could.
You can have 8 copies of Bloodshot.
Right, I can have 2
multiple copies of Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
Well, does that count if I have Bloodshot? Is that another copy because I have Bloodshot on my Zapiti?
Yeah, maybe.
Does that count? Because I do have it on the Zapiti.
There you go.
I have
9 copies.
Yeah, so it's
I
9
guess
copies.
Is that up to 9 now? I have it in all these different places.
I mean, if you get to 10, you should get a personal call from Vin Diesel just to say thank you.
Yeah,
right.
It's like a card. Do you get them stamped like a coffee card? And you get to 10, you get
a free sub.
Because that would be fully half of all the copies sold in the United States.
Yeah,
I think it's more than that.
Yeah,
yeah,
2/3.
And I bought one. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got the other.
Yeah.
You're the 10 people.
We should all get the call.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You get a free pair of glasses.
Yeah. Give us a call, Vin. We are standing by and waiting for your call.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, no, this Bad Boys Ride or Die is great as it is. I rank it third of the movies.
Yeah,
one,
movies, right?
two, this one, and it's but those three are all really, really good. 2, I think, is the best home theater experience. Maybe this one, I have to watch those 2 back to back. Up until this one came out, I had 2 as the best home theater experience out of all of them. And then this one, yeah, it is, it's a push play demo from beginning to end.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the movie of 2 better than I like that. But this one is a good buddy cop. They're older. They're like getting, figuring themselves out at their age. And it's funny, and they do make fun of themselves. But for me, it's like, I think it's 1, 2, and then this one. And the third installment, I was just, it was okay. It was all right.
I mean, I this film has no business being as good as it is, though.
No,
it really doesn't. I mean, bearing in mind the year these 2 have had in the build up to this should have been a disaster. I mean, it should have been a bad film and a bad box office and just kind of died a death. Because I think all the contracts had been signed for this before Will had his meltdown. Right. And I think and so there was a lot of discussion about whether this was even going to be made. So it should have been awful. But actually, the movie is, again, I mean, John, it's high praise. I think if you don't like the others and you actually will watch this again, then that's pretty strong kind of recommendation in terms of the film. But then how it looks and sounds as well. It's pretty incredible, really. Yeah. They threaded the needle when they had no business doing that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that was great.
Yep. All right. Let's see. What do I want to do first? All right. Let's do this one here. Really, you see what it is?
No, I do not know.
I can't make it out.
There you go.
It's too small. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
To 2000.
Yes, exactly, Steve. So for the audio only people on Friday, we're talking X-Men from 2000, the original X-Men. And I say the original because, like you said, Steve, this was 2000. So this was like before Spider-Man, before like the big push. When did Blade come out? Blade
98.
came out in like 98, so right before this.
Then the Matrix was 99, and then you get this. So this is kind of
But this was like for the big comic book fan. This was like the first big comic book movie, big comic book franchise. And I mean, it was a big deal. It was, this was the first change of the costumes. This was the John, I mean, I think you'd agree. There was as much talk about Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine as there was Michael Keaton playing Batman.
Yeah. Well,
for the exact opposite reason.
Yeah. He's too tall. Too
Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not Canadian.
Not Canadian enough.
Yeah.
But it had everything going into it against it. You liked Patrick Stewart as,
I think people love that. They liked Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Some of the casting, was kind of celebrated, where some of
Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
Yeah, well. You can't go wrong there.
No, we did not go wrong.
Also, Ian McKellen as Magneto is fantastic,
great.
Especially the way they open it. I mean, the way they open the movie with the. I mean, I think it's supposed to be Auschwitz, although it may be, it's a generic.
Yeah,
right.
But the way that they liken those two to one another and give him that story that then gives him his reason to hate humanity, I thought that was genius. That's a stroke of absolute genius. That is the way that film begins is incredible.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that too, because I hadn't seen this in a while. The reason I was watching it came up much like I did with Empire, the Empire Strikes Back the week before. They were doing like a marathon on FX or one of those channels, and I was like, oh, I flipped by it and I saw X-Men, and I was like, oh my God. So I had to go downstairs, get fired up on the Kaleidoscope and be like, here we go. And like I said, I haven't seen this in quite a while, since probably the 4K set came out. I don't know if it's a box set or whatever, but yeah. And man, like you said, that opening scene, it looks sharper and more 3D than I remembered. It's the opening credit scene even. Remember, it's like I remember seeing that in the theater and being like, this is what I want when I get home. I cannot wait to the way they have the, Patrick Stewart voiceover, and then and I was like, I remember being in the theater going, this is gonna sound awesome in my living room, because that's what be like, I can't wait to get this. And then it now in our theaters upmix, because it is still only this DTS Master Audio 5.1. But man, it sounds incredible. It sounds so clean, so crisp. The bass is awesome. The way the sound moves around the room, especially in this opening scene. And then, like you said, the opening scene at like in Germany or whatever, we'll call it that or something. The monochromatic, like kind of a sepia tone or something, but it's bright but detailed. But there is one part, I know it's monochromatic. I noticed this one part on young Eric, his ear, the light shining through the back of the top of his ear. You could see that coming through, and it just, that to me, just seeing that little bit of detail there was like added to the gloom of the shot. Right. So like the shot really is that gloomy. I know it's color timed and everything for that, but seeing that, it's like, it just looked so good. And then there was another part that get into the sound of it. The opening cage fight, the clanging,
where they smack the metal,
the metallic sound every time he punches or gets punched, like when they clench fists, it's like, and I was like, I don't ever remember hearing it that good, and again, that's the system's been upgraded, that's the SPS speakers been upgraded, all of this stuff, and it's like everything just seems so crisp. It was awesome. It was like seeing the movie all over, like for the first time all over again. It was so good. So good.
Well, the thing with Hugh Jackman, people forget, is that he was cast after they were already filming. It was originally Dougray Scott was cast as Wolverine. So he's the Scottish actor who was the bad guy in Mission Impossible 2. And because Mission Impossible 2 had filming issues and shooting went over schedule, not schedule, went over schedule. We've been through this. Because it went over schedule, he couldn't do it. So they literally cast a net and was, look, whoever's closest, well, Hugh, you'll do, come on. And that was it. I mean, the first thing I think he shot was the Statue of Liberty, the kind of gift shop scene, that sequence.
Yeah. Oh,
and he talked about, he's been interviewed saying, how it was so scary. Come on the set, first American movie I've done. I still talk all like this, mate. What am I supposed to do? Who the bloody hell's Wolverine? That. And he's like, and here I am, and there's Patrick Stewart, and there's Ian McKellen, and there's Halle Berry, and he's like, I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, I mean, the way that it turned out as well as it did, and talk about a life-changing moment for Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. Oh God.
It just completely changed everything, and all because, thanks to John Woo, who can't keep a shooting day.
Yeah, you can hear his accent leak out in a few lines.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
you can hear him, like, he'll say stuff, especially in that opening scene talking to Rogue when he first meets her, and it's like you hear that I can't remember what it was, but you're like, oh, there it is, you get it.
Struth. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was so much fun, and again, John, like I said, Rebecca Romaine Stamos, that scene. I mean, when we saw that in theaters, when she first, changes in the helicopter, and you're like, can't wait to get this at home. It's like, she is bedazzled. Yeah. Let's just say that.
Bedazzled or bedazzled?
Yeah, exactly.
There was a sequence, I think DTS released the sequence where you get the senator coming out of the block. I mean, he's
out of the water.
Yeah. That was on a DTS demo disc that I had, and that looked gorgeous and does look gorgeous on the Blu-ray and the 4K disc.
Yeah,
because of course that's a really bright.
Speaking of that scene, I don't know if I forgot or I never noticed Stan Lee getting a hot dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the first.
I didn't remember that.
Like
I
cameo.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't remember that. It's like because he has
Oh, right.
no line.
No.
He's just
Yeah,
standing there by the hot dog vendor, watching him walk by, and I was like, "Oh my god, did I forget that I knew that? I don't know. It's like because I've had this argument with John before.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
You knew that.
You knew it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did know there was a sequel to this film, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just the first part.
I think I've been better off forgetting there was a sequel to that movie, by the way, that has just been pushed off to 2028, I believe.
Yeah. If we ever see it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The other scene that I thought was enhanced this time around was inside Logan's head when Xavier is talking to him in the office, not just when he's walking down the halls looking for him, right? But when he's in the office and he's like, "Did you think I was the only one? Or you were the only one?" And the way it bounces, goes up and over because the up mixing, I was like, never experienced that before. That was really, really cool. Really cool. So, yeah. So, the catalog title strikes again. So, there we go. All right. Who's next? What do we got?
Yeah, take your pick. Take your pick. There's a couple of films there. Oh, yeah, we could do that one if you like.
Nope, not with that response.
How about that? Yeah, we could do this quickly. Yeah, because talked about it on the show once or twice.
Yeah, just a couple 2-3 times.
Yeah. Well, let's do this because it is worth talking about. Okay, this is the once previously mentioned, only in passing, I think, the last Voyage of the Demeter, which we have finally, as I mentioned at the tail end of the show last week, finally had released in the UK on home video in the UK, actually. So I don't think the Blu-ray was ever released here. But certainly the first time we've had it on 4K and in Atmos. I imported the Blu-ray of this from the US because I was not about to wait for this film. And that's the one we talked about months and months and months ago. So I rushed out and bought the 4K disc day one. And again, with the Atmos track, I think it's the same Atmos track as the disc, the Blu-ray. Okay, movie's just so cool. This is now the 5th time I've seen it. I absolutely love this movie. I think this movie is great. It is exactly what you want from, a gothic B movie telling of a chapter of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Okay, and again, as we've talked about, John, absolutely the case that when we get Nosferatu at home, it's going to be watch up to the boat bit, stop that, watch this and
on.
Nosferatu. Yeah, it's got to be done. Robert Eggers wouldn't agree, but I think it probably is a good idea. So the film's great. I really, really do like this film. I think it's exactly what I want from it. And you've seen it, haven't you, John? You've seen this one, haven't you?
Yeah, and I like it. Yep.
I did
like it.
And I know Deej did as well.
Strange. I don't have it though. I mean, I haven't seen this disc.
Okay, well, I would imagine it is approaching a sensible price now because, of course, it's got well over a year old, isn't it? Yeah. So worth having now. So, excuse me. So in terms of the image quality, this is unquestionably the way to see this film from now on. My Blu-ray is gone. I will never watch that Blu-ray again. The 4K experience of this film is transformative. Now, Deej, you, of course, had the Kaleidoscope version of this, and you've had it in 4K for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, this now, having seen it 4 times on, I had a screener of it when it first came out, and then I've seen the Blu-ray, a couple of times at least. I've never seen it like this. This is the 4K on this, and especially the HDR transforms this movie from a good-looking film to a great-looking film. There is so much going on in the shadows in this, and they add so there's lots going on that hitherto was almost invisible on the Blu-ray. You can see there's something in the shadows, but you couldn't see what it was. Well, now you can, and you can see it clearly because of the shadow detail, the extra kind of information that is now visible. It's fantastic. It is way more three-dimensional than the Blu-ray, again, because of the way they're using HDR in this. It is a transformative experience. There's no other way to watch this film. This needs to be seen in 4K if you want this movie the best it can be it's totally different. I was seeing stuff all the way through. I'm like, oh my God, look at that right now. I see, oh, and now I get why that character's reacting in that way, because you're supposed to be able to see what he can see. But of course, you can't on the Blu-ray, and in this you can. It's fantastically good. And when I put this on, whenever I was tail end of last week, I just was just dopiest grin on my face when at all this extra information that I hadn't seen before. And then, of course, you still get the flames in the daylight scenes, which are beautiful and they look threatening. They look exactly like it should. It's CG fire, but it looks really realistic. It's great. So it looks fantastic. The audio is the same as the Blu-ray, which is to say, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still great. There's no, I mean, it was awesome then. It's awesome now. The Blu-ray does have Atmos. This is Atmos. It's exactly the same track. The knocking, goes right around the room. The rain sounds great.
Yeah.
All that stuff's really good. And when, spoiler alert, when the creature talks, it's every bit as kind of chilling as it would be to see this bloody thing talking at you. It sounds great. So I had such a good time seeing this for the 5th time, but also for the first time as it's supposed to be seen. It's awesome. And I really do recommend picking up this disc. I think it's nearly demo worthy, maybe not quite maybe reference, but it's very good indeed. And transforms what is already a really good film and makes it even better. So loved it. And if you haven't already got it in 4K and you're listening to this and you've got a 4K setup, do yourself a favor and pick it up. Because I'm sure, I mean, it wasn't expensive here really, but I'm sure it's way cheaper in the US because it's been out there, I think, a while.
Still $33.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
When did it come out? Does it say, John? Or does it say Blu-ray.com? When did it come out?
Well, I'm on Amazon. Well, yeah, this is Amazon, so it's not going to have the release date. At least see, but
just whilst you're looking at that, TSG says, I don't think I've seen this. TSG, knowing you as I do in terms of your genre movies, see it, put it to the top of your viewing list.
That's
all right. It's great. It really is good fun for a schlocky B movie.
This says release date today. This just came out in 4K here.
Yeah. Collector's edition today. Let me see if there's anything else.
Maybe there's another version.
Oh, do you know what? Right. Okay. Do you know what? I must be confusing then the Kaleidoscope version. I thought it had been out in the US forever ago.
No,
I know the Blu-ray has been, and I just assumed it had been released in 4K over there. Oh, right.
No, I think all we got was the Blu-ray.
Right. Wow.
Until today.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's
okay. Well,
a bit pricey, but
yeah. Well, $33 is pushing it.
Yeah.
I get that.
It's literally the day it came out.
Right.
It came out today.
So give it
the 11th.
2 or 3 months. Bearing in mind it's an older movie, surely that's going to have dropped. Down quite a bit by then. But it's so good. Yeah. It really is the way to see it. I think it's fantastic. And again, another movie that shouldn't have been as good as it is. I put this kind of in the same league as kind of Romulus. And sorry to say it, Deej, the 2014 Evil Dead, which are movies that shouldn't be good. By all rights, they should be forgettable, kind of trash. But actually are really, and actually, all right, let's put Evil Dead Rise in there as well. They should be bad, but they're not. Honest, Deej, they're good. I can't go a show without mentioning it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's no point having it as a drinking game because I don't mention it enough. But, the film shouldn't be good. It shouldn't work as well as it did. It's just a chapter of a book that most people probably skip that chapter and think it's just about a boat. But this is about an entire movie out of this one chapter, and it's unmissable. It's great. The only problem is we won't see another one because you can't really sequelize this unless it's whatever the next chapter is. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not as exciting, I'm sure. The next chapter is just, introducing London.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
You can show him moving into his new home, unpacking and buying the drapes at IKEA,
Hey, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, it's not that different to Nosferatu.
Right.
So I loved it.
How long ago did I see this? Was it October? Did I see this
way before that, Deej? Way before.
Was it?
Wow, sounds like it was,
long
time.
At least 6 months ago, it feels like.
Yeah. Have you got? Does it say when you downloaded it on Kaleidoscope? Will it say on your app?
Yeah.
Would it just say no, DJ? You've already got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it would say like on the download history. I mean, it could be over a year ago because it came out 2 years plus. I'm sure this is 2023. It's got to be,
Yeah.
if not earlier. In fact, yeah.
Let's see. I'd have to go through all downloaded.
Sure,
Wow,
I know
this goes
because I've
way
got
back.
to think.
Speaking of
2023. Do you know how I know? Because look, I've printed the little label.
2023. It goes that far back.
Yeah.
Wow.
I printed the label. I haven't put it in its little box yet, and it says 2023.
Yeah.
And that's how I know.
Oh, my download history only goes back right now. I'm scrolling. Only goes back to August.
Don't announce your internet history,
to that,
Deej.
What'd you say, John?
I mean, it would be prior to August then.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I
it
don't
must have
see
been
it there.
kind of early last year. So it could well have been this time last year, Deej.
Yeah.
If not before.
Yeah. It's, I mean,
yeah.
I remember raving about it.
Big says 2023, 1999 on Kaleidoscape. So yeah, but then it's been on Kaleidoscape forever.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a rewatch. I do remember. I mean, it was amazing. I remember raving about it, and I remember, like the boat creaking, and I remember that the detail underneath, like in the cabin. It's like it's crazy. I do remember
all the Atmos stuff, right? Creaking boats and rain and
this
everything you want.
Effect. Yeah, all over. Yeah, it does. Well, the knocking's the thing that this film should be remembered for. It's the we tap and you can hear the knocking go right to the back of the room as if there's no wall there. It just goes back and back and back and back and back. But like I said, to add to this, then is that HDR, the detail. The shadow level, the what's going on there. There are a number of sequences here where there are things going on in the shadows that you are expected to see. By the way, this might be a calibration test disc as well. Actually, in fairness, if you've got your brightness level set wrong on this, you're only going to have the same issues that you would have before.
Right.
The Game of Thrones special. But if you have,
I think I mentioned that at the time too.
Yeah, I think you did. So it's so good, so good. Alien on a boat, Carl says. Yeah. In fact, Carl, when this was coming out, that was specifically referenced. One of the director of it said, "We're making Alien on a boat." That's literally what it was.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and I can see why it's great.
Yeah. Cool. Whoop, wrong button.
Oh, there you go. Right. Kick us out.
No. All right. And now, John.
Sure.
Here we go.
Yeah, not seen this.
You ready?
Yeah. All right. So this is the 1993 martial arts classic, Tai Chi Master, starring Jet Li and Michelle Yeoh. This is the first time I had ever seen this movie. It was in 4K with Dolby Vision and 5.1 master audio, which was, of course, upmixed to Neural X. So as far as the movie goes, Steve, you said you haven't seen this?
No, never. I've never seen it. I think I've heard of it, but not seen it.
Fairly silly when it comes to
Wushu.
It is a lot of that. It's definitely superhero martial arts, and there's some pretty silly scenes in this. Like people falling on their heads and like bouncing like a basketball, and so it had all of those elements. And the story moved at an odd pace. It felt really more like an outline of a story than a fully fleshed out script. But having said all that, I mean, the fight scene, the martial arts is still pretty great. And it's a fun movie. Like, this movie is right up my alley. It brought me back to the Saturday afternoon, kung fu theater that we used to watch growing up, DJ. Which were all kind of these schlocky, martial arts movies. But again, very early Jet Li. But, if you have Jet Li in a martial arts movie, you're going to have some pretty top-notch fight scenes. And this movie doesn't disappoint. I will watch this multiple times, even though it is a little bit outside of what you like, Steve, with the like I said, definitely the superhero martial arts kind of
a lot of wire work.
A lot of wire work, a lot of, like I said, just silly stuff. Like, like I said, bouncing off of your head, and they're like sleeping in one scene on their heads like standing straight up in the air, like, but sleeping. So, you know, it's got that.
What we know about in real life, you know, in martial art films, they bounce on the head, bounce up. What we know in real life is they hit the ice and then have a concussion for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
At least.
Counting so far.
So yeah, if you're a fan of, you know, like martial arts movies and things in general, it's definitely worth checking this out. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, I really had a great time with it. It's only like 90 minutes, so it's a pretty easy watch. And you know, like I said, I kind of touched on it a bit earlier. This is from 1993 and had to be as low a budget as you could have for a movie in 1993. So it is not the greatest presentation when it comes to, you know, the home theater experience. It's pretty, I mean, it is grainy for sure, but I mean, it's pretty colorful and it looks probably as good as this movie has ever looked and could ever look. But it is not on par with, you know,
modern
like
movies
Boys or Borderlands or modern films. And the soundtrack, I would say the same. You know, I mean, there's a lot of you know, kung fu punches and kicks and air, you know, kind of whipping around through the air, but it's a serviceable mix, but it's not by any means like it didn't have to be. It could have been just 2-channel audio, really, because there wasn't a lot of things happening on any of the other the channels. There wasn't a lot of discrete atmospheric sounds, even with the upmix. But I don't think that's what you're going to come to this movie for. This was just a good time and a fun movie. So, and I guess Jordan saying, you know, the 4K disc, I imagine it is a huge improvement. Like I said, it's probably the best that this movie will ever look or sound, but it is not a, you know, it is not a demo disc by any stretch of the imagination. But fun time and definitely worth checking out. So
yeah, Jordan says so. There is a 4K disc of it here, then. So Tai Chi Master by 88 Films, and it's a fun film. So okay, well, all right. Well, if it's out over here, then I will. I'll give that a go. Like I said, I've got to be in the mood for the wire fu, you know, the wushu stuff. When I'm in the mood for it, like that, it's great. You know, things like obviously Fearless and things like that, which are really good. And we had our kung fu season, didn't we?
We did, and I've got one. I'll have one more coming up next week because I have one more to watch on the Zidu.
Great stuff.
I'll have that for next week, but
so I don't mind dabbling in these. And I said, if it's out in 4K, which it is, then I'll have to get and pick this up.
It can't be expensive.
Gosh, well, actually, maybe not.
It is.
I think that's just gone on the Christmas list.
I don't know, Steve, that I would. At $29.99, I don't know that I would recommend it as much. If it was $15, you know,
I'm gonna have to save up my pocket money,
pull the trigger all day. But I don't know if it's a $30 movie.
Wow, that is quite a lot. I might wait for that to drop a bit.
All right,
cool.
Let's see. I want to screw that up again. All right, are you guys ready for my next one? Are you ready for this?
What is it?
It's been a long time coming.
Come on, let me see. Go on, lay it on me. Right. Cancel the rest of the show. Deej, that's it. Call it off. That's it. Done. Deej.
I wanted to cheer you up, Steve.
Right. That's it.
Go.
That's it. That's all we want to hear for the rest of the night.
Yeah. The audio only people on Friday are like, what the hell?
Well, if
we gotta watch the YouTube
they should
video.
know.
Yeah, you should know by now. What are we talking about, Steve?
I'm not sure. Was it Evil Dead Rise? Pretty sure we talked about it.
No, definitely
this
not.
Is the 2007 instant all-time classic Hot Fuzz. Please tell me you liked it, Deej.
So it's a movie. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm
Do
just
not
kidding.
do that to me.
I'm just kidding. No, it's great. It is. I couldn't. So I watched X-Men. I told you that. I got all the way through X-Men. awesome sound, awesome. I mean, great surround sound, everything I ever wanted. And, you know, when I saw it way back when, I couldn't get all the way through this. I got a headache. The bass in this is so good.
Yeah,
it is so good. It is like the sound for the. I mean, I thought it was just a comedy. I was like, what is this? It is just. It is a home theater demo comedy, but action buddy film that I didn't
horror
know.
Movie.
I feel like John watching Pacific Rim, or Bad Boys, or
Point Break.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Point Break. I mean, it was, I mean, home theater wise, it is, I almost want to say it is like push play demo material. Like, the picture is fantastic from 2006. I mean, I can't really go on and be like, oh, the skin tones and this and that. I mean, it just looked gorgeous, as good as it can look. But I couldn't make it all the way through. I got a headache. I was like, I can't believe this. I have to stop. And when I finished it later, it is, and I didn't know what I didn't know. You know, I didn't know where I was stopping it. I didn't know what the movie, how it was going to play out. And it's exactly, Van Gool, Hot Fuzz, second half with the action is great for audio. It's like, I was already blown away and I hadn't even gotten to that part yet. Hadn't that shootout chase scene. It's like, I'm thinking, this is better than Heat. This is like fantastic. It really was. It's like, no, I didn't. Did you notice a cameo appearance? Jordan's asking, did you notice a cameo appearance of Peter Jackson and Cate Blanchett? No, I did not notice that.
Rewatch.
Yeah, exactly. I figured there was a lot going over my head. I was trying to, trying to pay attention.
Humor in it as well. Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I liked the innuendos, double entendre jokes that they had going, much like this show. A lot of that going on. Kind of figured out the ending before. I was like, I kind of figured out what was going on there, but I still thought it was really well done, well written, like the idea of it. But
tell me, you'll never hear the words "by the power of Grayskull."
Oh my God! Yeah.
Did you feel seen?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my, like when he said that, I was going to open the show with that, but I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag, if you will, the horse out of the barn, Mr. Ed running away. It's, I didn't want to let it all out at once. So I wanted to save it for the end of the show, but I mean, it's, how did I not know this? I know how. Shows like this didn't exist in 2007. I was just it's a comedy. I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, but all right. You're right on this one, Steve.
Oh, good man. Well, I'm glad.
And everybody else in the chat, and John.
Well, you can now see why when you said you hadn't seen it, I'm like, what? You can go, hey, you're like, this is like a touchstone for home theater fans and action comedy movie fans. But again, you've got to love the was it Bad Boys 2 or Point Break? Well, which one's best? No, which one do you want to see first?
But when he opens the door, and you have all the physical media, right? And he's like, that's by the power of grace, you're like, oh my God. It's like an homage to that. But then the entire idea of the thing is like exactly what we talk about all the time on the show, is that you don't know how to unplug, right? Or how, turn off or whatever he says. But it's like, and I'm sitting here watching this movie, trying to unplug, trying to turn off, trying to cheer myself up, and I'm like, Jesus, I was like, oh my God. But it's, I mean, I can't, I honestly can say I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, it's an instant classic. I mean, it really is. And of course, there's so many British character actors that, and a number of them, by the way, you will now recognize from Game of Thrones. You've got Paddy Considine in there.
Yeah.
You've got the guy that plays the Mountain, who the guy that says Yarp. He's the guy that plays the Mountain. You know, he's in that.
Yeah.
And like, soon to be, of course, Balon.
He goes, Yarp.
Yeah, Yarp. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, God.
But now you need to do Shaun of the Dead and then The World's End. You've got Shaun of the Dead. I know you did that. So that was the first of these 3 movies. They're called the 3 Flavors Cornetto trilogy. Cornetto's an ice cream here. So when they're in the car and they're eating the Cornetto, there's one like that in Shaun of the Dead and another one in World's End. So it's how they all link. But what is cool about this was all shot in Wells in Somerset, and it's about an hour from here. And they didn't set dress the place at all, so you can literally walk down that high street, and at the end there is the sort of the enclosed area where they have the big shootout at the end, and you can stand there and see it. It's all there. It's not changed. They didn't alter it. It's very cool, and I have done exactly that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And when they chase the swan and all that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I've done that for sure. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Deej. And now you know kind of why everyone in the chat was going on about it. Why? It was
stop
just
the show. Go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's I have Shaun of the Dead. You can see in this image here. It's right at the bottom of the screen, right below Moulin Rouge. You can see the top of the thumbnail. So yeah.
It's very good. I mean, it's a different kind of film, Shaun of the Dead, but it's still as anarchic as this, and well worth seeing. But yeah, Hot Fuzz is where they were firing on all cylinders, and you get obviously Timothy Dalton, who's clearly playing, Bond and sending up Bond, and so many British things in this that are. I mean, there's a lot of British humor in it, a lot of British actors that again, you recognize some, not others, but it works on multiple levels. And again, you get him firing into the air at the end and all that stuff.
Oh, exactly. God. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's like, oh, I love when he's asking the question, did you ever get to do that? No.
But also when they go into the pub and he's asking the kids, what year were you born? He goes, when's your birthday? 13th of April. What year? Every year.
That's a great answer. It's like, every year. Like, get out. Oh, God. Yeah. He's like, I love the kid. Like, it's like he's supposed to be this like great detective, but it's like every kid looks like he's 12. You don't need to be a great detective. And the one kid's smiling, they show in slow motion with the braces, like in case you weren't like paying attention while watching the movie. It's like, wow. Oh, God. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Well, like I said, to remind people that might have missed it a few weeks back, you can get all 3 in a 4K set. They're all in DTSX. They've been, I think, their Studio Canal releases, but you can now get Shaun of the Dead on a 20th anniversary Dolby Atmos new version, which is very nice indeed. And hopefully Hot Fuzz is not far behind. But it is a DTSX mix. Presumably yours is DTSX, isn't it, Deej?
Or is it? No, mine was DTS Master Audio.
Okay, so the 3 pack they're all in DTSX. And then, as I said, the new Shaun of the Dead is in Atmos, and I would imagine Hot Fuzz is coming because I can't imagine that they're going to just do one and leave it, especially since the 20th anniversary is coming up. So yeah, it's very, very cool. And John, are you looking to see how much is that? Did you say that that trilogy set was a couple of weeks back?
$33.
So
what's that, 4K trilogy? Yeah, so it's not bad. But the Shaun of the Dead, like you said, is $25, $20-something dollars.
I mean, it is a very, very good remaster, but three movies that are classics in DTSX. They're no slouch, these ones. For $11 each is not bad at all. See, John, look how well I know you, that I knew you were looking it up.
I am.
Oh yeah, there's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End is all in DTSX.
I looked it up last time, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
well, I mean that's not bad. I mean it might even be available on eBay cheaper because there might be people that are selling their three set to then get Shaun of the Dead. So you might be able to pick it up even cheaper. But so Jordan says Edgar Wright says Hot Fuzz will be remastered for the 20th anniversary. I mean, an Atmos track version of that, a properly remastered one like Shaun of the Dead, will be I'm going to rearrange your room for you sonically. I mean,
Hot Fuzz,
I mean, I can only imagine how crazy that will go. So
Crazy.
yeah, very, very cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well done, Deej. Thank you for seeing it. You're a good man.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I can't believe it took. I mean, I don't know. It's like
you didn't know. Like you say, you didn't know what you didn't know. You
don't know what you don't know. Yeah,
quite. And it's kind of assumed, I think. And I did. I made the mistake that night. I assumed you'd seen it. There's me saying, "Oh, how long since you've seen Shaun of the Dead? It's as good as Hot Fuzz." Yeah, and then just assuming a man of your cinematic tastes would have seen Hot Fuzz and know it. You know, I didn't even think you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And being a fan of Edgar Wright as well, it's not like you don't know who he is. Yeah. So it's it's so good.
It's crazy.
So good.
It's crazy.
And look, if you guys come over here, we'll take you down to Wells in Somerset, and I'll show you where it was all shot. And you can walk around the model village; it's all there, and you can stand where this shootout took place. So yeah, we'll add that to the list if you come over, guys.
When.
When.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, just need a strong tornado. You'll be here in minutes.
There we go. Yeah, especially
there he goes again.
If I hide in my doorway.
Same one.
Oh God. All right. Do we have anything you want to do quickly?
Yeah, go on, grab a quick one if you want to do that. The one beginning with J. Because we won't end on a downer, so we'll leave the one you put up earlier until next week. That one's we'll start with that one next week so we can build.
Which one? Oh, here, this one.
Yeah. We can quickly do that one because that's a Blu-ray. Yeah,
let's do this.
Well, I say quickly. I mean, as quick as I ever talk about anything quickly.
Exactly.
Now you got it up. You can't take it down. Yay!
There we go.
3 hours later. Right. Okay. So this then is the Blu-ray 1080p Blu-ray of Juror No. 2 or Juror #2. Well, I'm assuming it's number 2. We'll just call it that. Clint Eastwood's most recent film. Pound 2. Hey, I don't know how many people he pounded. Anyway, so this is Clint Eastwood's possibly last movie. I hope it's not, but that's the way the saying goes, and that's kind of the current state of things. So do you guys, either of you seen it, know what it's about?
I've seen it. I saw it on Apple TV, I believe in 4K and Atmos on Apple TV.
Oh man, see, showing off, John, showing off, mate.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, this will be interesting then, because you can tell me then whether my instincts are correct, because this is only on Blu-ray. It's not out in 4K here. I think it might maybe have a 4K release over there. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, here it's only on Blu-ray. They'll probably release it in 4K, a year from now. So for those that haven't seen it, this is a story of Nicholas Hoult, who is Juror No. 2 or Pound 2, whatever you want to call it, who is called for jury duty. He's got a pregnant wife. All of this is in the trailer. None of this is spoilers, although I appreciate it does set up quite a bit of the story. He's Juror No. 2, called for jury service to deliberate on a domestic violence murder, where the victim has been allegedly murdered on a quiet country road during the Ellsworth effect storm by her partner. So partner's on trial for the murder. It transpires that Juror No. 2, Nicholas Hoult's character, very quickly realizes that he, in fact, might have been the person that killed the victim. And it then becomes a morality tale about whether he should come clean and admit that he may well have been the person that did it, or whether he allows someone he knows to be innocent to essentially go to prison for the rest of their lives. So it becomes this kind of dilemma. It's got a really good cast. You've got Kiefer Sutherland in it, who's starting to look old, guys. Jack Bauer's getting old. Oh no! Oh, it's horrible. And there's Toni Collette is in it as prosecutor. So it's an About a Boy reunion, by the way. Nicholas Hoult was only a little schoolboy when they were in that. She played his mum in that. And so it's a nice reunion. So anyway, the movie's really good. I can watch this and enjoy it. It's no matter how ludicrous I think it may be, I can watch it and enjoy it because, of course, it's America. Right. So I don't need to worry about the legal side of it and whether it's right or not. I can't do that in the UK because I get irritated at the inaccuracies. So in America, I can just put it down to, well, I don't know anything about American law. I'm sure it's fine. So I can watch it and enjoy it. And I did enjoy this a lot. I actually thought this was really well done. It is silly. I think at any point it could have just all ended. I mean, all he's got to do is say, I'm not telling anyone. I've got a pregnant wife. I'm not going to prison for the rest of my life. And then and there isn't really any kind of dilemma there. And I suspect most of us, maybe it's just me, wouldn't deliberate on this for very long. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, so but I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. It was never less than entertaining. It's a well told story, and Eastwood is such a good director that he could direct the phone book opening, and he would still stay for that. Yeah. So I thought it was really good. Now this is where I think, John, in particular, you can help me with this.
Well, actually, what I'm going to say, this was a Max original, not Apple TV.
Okay.
And so I would not have had 4K or Atmos for this. I just had I just had Max. Basic,
well, again, be interesting to see what you make, because my version is only 1080p. For Blu-ray, how we've talked about in the past, and Deej, you certainly have mentioned that the difference between 1080p and 4K on certain movies and in certain presentations can be almost unnoticeable. I would be very surprised if we get a 4K disc where that could be much of an improvement over how good this looks. It is a stunning looking film. It's beautiful. I mean, and funny enough, that picture actually quite accurately reflects kind of how it looks. It's colorful. The flesh tones look really natural. When it does get, there's a lot of flashbacks of what happened to that night with the storm and everything else, and it looks really, really good. It never looks less than razor sharp. Obviously, it's been filmed in 4K or 8K or whatever it is, and it translates well to Blu-ray. Again, I mean, obviously, presumably it's up next to 4K for my screen, but all that detail comes out, all the colors. It looks amazing. All the wood paneling of the courtroom and all that kind of stuff all leaps off the screen. It's fantastic looking, and it also sounds really good as well. Now I think it's DTS HD 5.1, I think it is, and upmixed to Neural X. Again, the storms, there's lots of repeats of this heavy rainstorm. Sounds fantastic. You get the kind of hollow echoes of the courtroom. There are lots of atmospherics when there's lots of talk going on park benches. And as that's going on, you can hear all the traffic noises in the birds and the trees and the wind and all that stuff. It's a really, really good disc, I thought. And what did you think of the movie, John, and how it looked and sounded from your side of it?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Knowing that I'm watching it on Max and I only have 1080p and 5.1 stereo, I kind of tune that part out. Like, I don't expect anything out of it when I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I literally watched it just for the movie and the story. I didn't pay as much attention to that, but I mean, it never looked bad or sounded bad, but I'm sure your Blu-ray disc looked better than the stream than I watched. But I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Like you were saying, it's silly in points because I don't know if we've spoiled it already, but without spoiling it too much, there's any number of points in this movie where this person could come clean and probably not face the music. But that doesn't happen. Or like you said, could just take it all the way to the grave and not face the music. But I enjoyed it. Like you said, it's thoroughly enjoyable, and it's never not entertaining. But it is a bit, this would not happen in real life. But
that's why it's the movie.
Fun what if.
But it's a great movie, and I didn't even know it was coming to disc. I thought this was just a streaming original movie. So
yeah, it hit theaters. It had a theatrical.
Oh, I see. Release. I didn't even. I didn't even realize.
I don't think it hung around very long. Yeah. It's one of these kind of. I mean, rumor has it. I think from what I read online, this is pure scuttlebutt. This might be nonsense, but I think this was like that. The Lord of the Rings, the Ride of the Rohirrim,
right?
Where Warner's released it and dumped it. Just didn't really advertise it, didn't tell anyone about it, and almost just snuck it out on the quiet. And I'm sure I read that somewhere.
IMDb lists it as a Max original. Funny enough, so that's what. Yeah, so I don't know.
Release, but
Well, it may, and again, it may have, but
is it on Kaleidoscope?
Yeah, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos.
Oh wow,
yeah. Yeah. So
well, then that means it should come. I mean, there should be a physical release then at some point.
yeah, there isn't one yet, but yeah, there's no 4K version. Even I checked Blu-ray.com and there's nothing even speculate. There's nothing. So, but yeah, that could be just like Last of the Demeter. You know, that's Voyage of the Demeter, same thing. But yeah, it was.
sorry, it is Atmos on the Blu-ray. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it is Atmos. I'm just checking my thing. Yeah, sorry, it is Atmos on it. Yeah. Well, that'll explain why it was so good then.
Yeah, there you go.
Forgotten. It's been weeks that I saw it. A long time ago.
Yeah.
And by the way, now that I think about it, I think this is one of those that defaults to 5.1 as well. By the way, so if you do get the disc, check your audio settings. I didn't get caught out like I did with that one the other day. There we go. Yeah. So Jordan says barely released theatrically in the US, so it could be rushed to Max. So again, release it, bury it. You know.
Yeah.
Who knows why? But you'd think if you'd spent the money on it, you'd want as many people to see it as possible. But there we go. It's a legal thriller. It's worth picking up. Don't go spending a lot of money on it.
Yeah. Right now it's $35.
I'd watch it on Max.
It's a
free
prime
on Max.
release. That's why. So. Yeah. It's
yeah.
I just watch it there.
Yeah, and I can 4K with Dolby Vision and Atmos on Max. So
so don't get spending
$35
on it.
I will. Yeah, I mean, I love Clint Eastwood stuff, so I will get it eventually. But I'll wait.
It's a well-told story.
Wait for a sale.
Yeah, and it'd be worth seeing again with Jen, Deej, because it's one of those movies you will talk about afterwards. You got to be careful what you say afterwards in terms of who you choose. But I think. Because if you're like, I cough to this and go to prison for the rest of my life, forget the pregnant wife, that might not go down too well. So you've got to be immoral to sort of keep on side with the other half. If you go too moral, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh boy.
But it's an interesting dilemma. It's the kind of thing you'll talk about. And as I said afterwards, I was just a bit depressed at how old Kiefer Sutherland's starting to look.
Oh, jeez.
Because poor bloke. He's getting on as Kiefer, and it's like I don't think I've seen him since 24.
He was in that other one.
I love 24, and so
yeah,
it was a series he had not too long ago.
Yeah, it was the
psychic thing that you mentioned it, Deej. Wasn't it a psychic thing? It was like
he was like
he was the
I can't even remember.
It was the presidency thing too.
Well, he has that, but then
Wasn't
he had another show. I don't know.
Yeah.
It must not have been that great because, I mean, he owned like a security company or something and his team betrayed him.
Man. Yeah.
I don't know what it was called.
Wow.
Now I'm going to have to look it up.
No, you're okay. Yeah. I'm way ahead of you. Right.
All right, so what do you got?
So he was in Rabbit Hole. Is that the same thing?
Rabbit Hole. That's what it was.
The First Lady. He was in The Contractor. The Fugitive.
No, what was the one I was thinking of that it wasn't even him that I'm thinking of where he was like next in line to be president after they blew up like.
Wasn't that 24?
Yeah, but the one I'm thinking about was Rabbit Hole 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this was in.
Designated Survivor.
There you go. That's the one.
Yes, President Tom Kirkman. He must have made it.
Yeah, he did. But he was like it like everybody in the show, like everybody got killed. The president, the vice president, the speaker. It went all the way down, and it got to him.
Janitor.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, what? I'm president? It was like because that's all that's left because it was an attack on the country. It's pretty funny.
It was real funny.
Yeah, real funny.
Yeah, Paperboy, you'll do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Already, I've just seen the time.
I know.
I got excited again. I got to stop
this. You got all excited. So,
oh man, it's
all
good.
Right. Steve's got to get to bed. I've got to get to bed. Everybody's got to. John's got to go make dinner.
Yep.
Yep. Very exciting times. But I don't know what I have for next Takeover Tuesday. I'll get something together, and but at the very least, we'll be back next Tuesday. Everybody, thank you for watching. I'm out of my mind right now, so Travis, I just got here. Yeah. Good night.
Look at what you missed.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, you can always rewind. Yeah. Be kind.
Rewind. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. On that note, thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I got to get out of here. Steve's got to get out of here. John's going to make dinner. Until next time, you know what you got to do.
Go push play.
what he said.
Is right.